Hey guys, Simply Betta here. I'm here to talk to you today about heaters. Why you need one and my favorite. I love heaters. I live in a cold place and I need to keep my fish happy. And my favorite creature of all time just so happens to thrive in warm tropical waters. Why couldn't I have loved a cooler water fish? I could have been Simply Goldfish, Simply White Cloud Minnow, Simply Least Killifish, Simply Trout, but no. Here I am surrounded by like 6 feet of snow, and my hobby just so happens to revolve around copious amounts of warm water tropical fish. Well, obviously it's not as cold inside as it is outside, but I still have to use heaters for my betta fish. I actually like the idea of being Simply Goldfish. I could really get into that. If I had way more space, I mean, look at these goldfish. Look at how just crazy cute they are. Look at them. Look at them. Look at them. I love them. I used to have a fish room before I broke it down a couple videos ago. I had this awesome little space just for my betta fish and my breeding projects and my growing spawns, and it was a little room that I had made out of a spare bathroom. I was able to heat the whole room just with one little electric heater and a fan that would circulate the air, and it worked really nice. I heated the room, which then kept all my grow out fish and my breeders at really nice temperatures. I did have a bunch of fish tanks in that room too, and I did have heaters in them just so I could control a little better the larger volume of water, and so I could boost the temperature if I needed to. Domestic betta fish like warm water. They're tropical creatures, and I like to keep them in the upper 70s to low 80s, and here's the Celsius conversion, because I'm an American. Room temperature in the average American home, where most of my viewers are from, it's not usually gonna cut it. Like the average temperature is like upper 60s to low 70s, and that by itself is definitely chilly. But when you think about it, if you have a tank of water sitting at room temperature, that tank of water isn't even going to be at room temperature just because of the properties of water. It's going to be lower. Like if your room is 72 degrees, a tank of water sitting right there isn't going to be 72 degrees. It's probably going to be like 67 degrees. And that's not good. Well, at the big pet stores, they don't use heaters, and those fish are fine. Nope. That's wrong. Ever wonder why the fish at the big pet stores, they don't look happy, they don't look very lively? It's because they're freezing cold. To demonstrate, I left this tank of water out on a table, just at room temperature. Okay, it's not a tank, it's actually a Brita filter. You got me. I let it sit out for a couple hours. Right now in this little area, it's about, I would say about 68 degrees. It's a little bit chilly. But if I take the temperature of the water, it is 59 degrees. Tropical fishy would not do good in this Brita filter right here. What are some side effects when it comes to improper temperatures in your betta fish tank? Well, there's a bunch. First of all, you can have a slow, lethargic, lazy fish who doesn't want to swim around, who just seems kind of unhappy. Because they're cold-blooded creatures. If they're in an environment that isn't the proper temperature and they can't get away from it, they can't go find a warmer place, they're just gonna get all sluggish like a lizard and kind of sit there all cold and unhappy. And to do that, to be in a place that's just too cold, is stressful. And when fish are subjected to stress, it can compromise their immune system, it can make them more susceptible to a bunch of illnesses and diseases like all of these. Like there's a lot of things that can happen. That's why you'll probably need a heater. Let's talk about heaters. I've used many of them, many kinds of them, many brands of them. I've broken a lot. The most common type of heater looks something like this. It's like a little glass tube, and inside of the glass tube there's heating coils, and usually there's a little knob at the top that you can twist and you can select the temperature that you want. They're not always glass. There's a lot of plastic ones nowadays. For example, here's a plastic one, and I do like the plastic ones because they're not as prone to breaking. Sometimes these kinds of heaters, they don't have an adjustable temperature knob on the top. You can get like a preset one that stays within a preset range, so you have to make sure that your fish prefers the range that the heater does. Those are usually a little cheaper. When I first started out, I only used these kinds of heaters, and I just used like really cheap eBay ones. They work most of the time. They break pretty easy. I would say that, they're cheap and they work As soon as I could, I upgraded though. I learned my lesson, don't go with the cheap eBay heaters. And I upgraded to higher quality ones. Like these are Eheim, and I've had great results with the Eheim glass tube heaters. So these became all that I used in my tanks. But I will say, these Eheim heaters, they're not my favorite anymore. They worked well, I had good results with them, but they're not my favorite anymore. The reason for that is because I think it's kind of annoying having to reach into your tank and you know, reach back and grab the heater and change the little knob if you want the temperature to change, and then you have to stick it back. If you use a rack system like me and you have to reach really far, that might be a big deal to you. Also, sometimes if I'm doing a water change and I'm moving fast and I don't realize that the water level dipped below the heater just stays on, and it gets really, really hot, and it can be prone to breaking and just becoming a piece of junk. See, this all sounds like such a big deal to me, but listening to me, I might just sound like the biggest whiner who just can't deal with anything. So this brings me to my new favorite heater that I like to use. This one.
Is your aquarium heater getting you down? Are you tired of getting soaked when reaching into your tank to make adjustments? Is fumbling with difficult dials ruining your day? Forgetting to turn off your heater during water changes like this dum-dum will be a thing of the past with the Higer tank heater.
This one's called the Higer. I think that's how you pronounce it. Higer. I'm gonna call it the Higer. Higer. I've been using this kind of heater for about a year now. I have a bunch of them. I've slowly been replacing all of my Eheim glass ones with this little thing right here. There's no glass on it that can break easily. It has this plastic housing that's not gonna like overheat and bust. Something cool about this is that there's no reaching down into your fish tanks to adjust the little knob and, you know, trying to read those little numbers when they're so far away. I'm such a complainer. But there's none of that with this little heater because the temperature control is actually on the cord. See right here, a little further down the cord, you have a little button. You just press the button, a little digital display lights up right here, and it shows you the temperature that you have selected. And it's easy. It's easy, it's so nice. And if you're water changing and the water dips below your heater, it shuts off. It has an auto shut off, so it just stops running. It doesn't just sit there and get super hot and break, and all of a sudden your, what, $20, $30 heater isn't broken. This is the 50-watt one. I've been using this in like 5 and 10 gallon tanks for a few years now, and it works great. I've had good results. I've been meaning to make some more like recommendation and equipment videos like this. It's been on my little to-do list. Taylor's to-do list is like 6 feet long, as you can imagine. But it's been on the list, is recommending things like, what heaters do I use? So it was serendipitous that like a month ago, the company Higer sent me an email asking if I'd be interested in mentioning their product in a video, and then they would give anybody who was interested an Amazon coupon. Is it coupon or coupon? They actually asked me if I'd be interested in doing any of their products, but then I looked at them and I was like, oh, wait a second. I use that heater and I was gonna make a video about that heater anyways. So it was just nice that I got that email, and now I got a couple free heaters out of it. I could have gotten more as a thank you. And that 15% off coupon code is down in my description box and the pinned comment if you're interested in maybe trying one for yourself. Obviously I said yes. I would love to make a video that had your heater in it. So I was gonna make a video regardless. So I'm not a sellout. I was gonna do this anyways. So this is the heater that I'll now be replacing all of these heaters with. I've spent a lot of money on heaters, kind of learning my lessons and figuring out what I like the best. So bit by bit, I already have like 12 of these, but I need some more. Thanks for watching, guys. If you're here to brag about living in a beautiful, hot, tropical place and not a freezing cold hellhole, feel free to leave a comment down below. If you want to try this heater for yourself, get that 15% off coupon code down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you haven't already, click the notification bell, and I'll see you next time.